Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela, and we are studying for the Board Certified Behavior Analyst exam. We are on section B, Concepts and Principles, and this video is going to cover B4, where we're going to define and provide examples of positive and negative reinforcement contingencies. So let's get into it. Positive and negative reinforcement contingencies. Now, when we talk about reinforcement, it's all about getting that behavior to increase in the future. So you have the future occurrences actually increased because of the consequence it came in contact with. All right. So we're thinking about positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Now it's all about, are you adding a stimuli or are you taking away a stimuli? Okay. And that in itself is going to define whether it's positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is when you add something. It's just simply adding something. It doesn't mean like it's good or bad. It just simply means that you're adding something to the equation in order for the future behavior to increase. Or it can be negative reinforcement where you remove something from a situation in order for that behavior to increase. Let's provide some examples. So the first example can be very organic. It can be something as simple as you really love ice cream, right? So the ice cream truck comes by, you go outside and you buy some ice cream, you eat the ice cream, you absolutely love this particular ice cream. So the next time the ice cream truck comes by, you remember how much you love this particular ice cream. So you go out and you buy it again, right? So that's positive reinforcement. Your behavior in the future increased because you came in contact with a reinforcer that caused you to increase that same behavior or behavior class. Like you can also go to the store and get that same ice cream because you really love that ice cream as well. So it doesn't have to be the exact same behavior. It can be a part of a behavior class where it's a part of a group of behaviors that you will engage in order for you to come in contact with that same reinforcement. Right? So that's positive reinforcement where you're adding something. You're adding ice cream because you have a desire for ice cream. So that's an organic way. But we also have other ways that we can also implement positive reinforcement. It can be a procedure of applying consequences deliberately, right? In order to increase the occurrence of that future behavior. Yeah, sometimes we'll add access to a toy in order for a kid to engage in a certain behavior, such as answering a question. Answer the question first, and then you can play with your toy, right? So in the future, answering questions may increase because they want access to the toy. That's adding a positive reinforcement to increase the occurrence of that behavior happening in the future. All right. So, we have different types of positive reinforcers as well. So it's not just something tangible like a toy. It can be something edible. It can be an activity. It can be a tangible. It can be social, or it can be a sensory. So a good way to think about the reinforcers is an acronym called EATS. EATS. All right. E stands for edible. A stands for activity. T stands for tangible. S stands for social, and the other S is sensory. All right. So all of these things can be reinforcers. We can do preference assessments to see what that person is motivated for in that moment in order for us to use it as a reinforcer to get access to what they want in the future. Okay. Now we have what is called negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is when you remove something in order for that behavior to increase in the future. So you're going to remove, we're going to think of relief, escape, avoidance. When you're removing something, then your behavior and that reinforces you. If you remove something and that reinforces you, that means that your behavior in the future is going to increase in order for you to remove that again. All right. So think about this. You do not like a certain sound. So that sound is hurting your ears. You find out that the sound is coming from the TV. So you grab the remote, you push that volume button down, and now you can remove that aversive stimuli, right? You can remove that aversive stimuli because you press the button down. So what happens in the future if you want to remove that sound. You're probably going to go to that remote and press the button down again in the future. So that's how you know it's negative reinforcement. You remove an aversive stimuli in order for you to come in contact with a reinforcement, all right, which is probably silence. All right, so that behavior is going to increase in the future if you want to escape, or you want to avoid, or you want to relieve yourself. We can also contrive it, right? When I'm working with a student, if they want to escape a demand, then I'm going to teach them to request a break. So asking for a break could increase in the future if they learn that that's how they can get out of doing something that they don't want to do. All right, so those are the different types of positive reinforcement. We have negative reinforcement. Again, there's two types of negative reinforcement. You have escape and you have avoidance. So avoidance, you have a discriminated avoidance where the contingency for responding is the prevention of the onset of an aversive stimuli in the presence of the signal. So if you know that something's going to come up and you want to avoid it, you're going to try to get away from it as fast as possible. And that is avoidance, right? But we also have, and this is when you know, right? You know it's coming, so you're going to try to avoid it. But we have situations where you don't know it's coming, but you just choose to avoid it just because you want to, right? That's a free operant avoidance where I just decided that I just didn't want to take that route, right? I'm not trying to avoid traffic. I just don't want to take that route. So I'm just going to avoid going that way. I'm just going to go a different way because I just want to. So those are the free operants of negative reinforcement. And then you have discriminated avoidance when you know something is coming up and you just decide that you're going to go a different route. All right, so that is avoidance. Okay, so there are some misconceptions about reinforcement. Some people think that, feedback could be reinforcement, and it's not. Some people think that practice could be reinforcement, and it's not. It's all about thinking about, does this behavior increase in the future, right? If I do this, will it increase my future behavior? Will it cause my behavior to increase in the future to come in contact with my reinforcement? All right. Well, that is it for B4. Have an amazing day.